Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with me today, she is a nail artist. Please welcome Beth, aka Girls Don't Cry Nails. Hello, Beth, and welcome.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, thank you.
It's great to have you. So I want to go ahead and really ask, where are you originally from, and tell us a little about your upbringing.
So I live just outside of London, in a place called Essex.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's quite quiet, really nice, little friendly town. Not much going on.
Mm. Now, what was like your school experience like? How was like primary school? Did you go to college, beauty school? Like, what was like the school experience like?
Really normal, to be honest. I had a really great group of friends. We kind of went from primary school all the way up to sixth form together, and yeah, had no interest in beauty whatsoever. I was more like sporty.
Mhm.
Yeah, never really saw myself doing like being in this industry at all. So I was more focused on um, doing some sport, and I was more interested in psychology. So I actually went and studied
Mm.
psychology um, and criminology at university.
Mm. Wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting. What made you get into like criminology and psychology?
I had an amazing psychology teacher basically when I was at school, and she'd
Mhm.
been in the Met, so the Met Police, and she had some insane stories, and I think that just sparked something in me. I was like, right, I need to go to uni and try and get into this industry.
Mhm.
Um, and then I think you slowly realise how hard it is to get into that industry when everyone
Right.
else wants to do the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. So who or what exposed you to the nail industry?
Oh, lots of things. I always had my nails done. Went to your usual non-standard salons and had the same experiences as most people.
Mhm.
Wasn't exactly a luxury experience at all. And then a
Mhm.
friend of mine had a really bad experience with acrylic, so MMA,
Mhm.
and she ended up losing a fingernail. Fingernail, like quite aggressively. And
Wow.
I think it just shocked me, and I was like, right, I'm going to go to where she's started to go to now. So it was a girl in her own studio using builder gel, and I was like, wow, like this is how it should be. It should be like a one-to-one luxury service where you actually talk to your nail tech and get to
Mhm.
know each other. And yeah, that was definitely like how I sort of got into that world of loving nails and nail art.
Mhm.
Um, and then it obviously was COVID, and I was still studying. I went on to do my master's in
Mhm.
psychology, and had a lot of like different events happen in my life. But obviously, I was stuck at home,
Mhm.
um,
Right.
and I fell pregnant. And I was like, well, I can't go and get my nails done anymore because it was COVID. So I'm just going to sit and do it myself. I'd
Right.
always had like a really rubbish Amazon nail kit that I probably shouldn't have been using. Um, but I always loved the nail art, so I was like, right, I'm just gonna do it myself. I even did
Right.
a set. I did my own nails when I think I was 41 weeks pregnant.
Mm.
I did a set on my toes. I was like, right, the midwives can't see my gross toes. I'm gonna do full on nail art on my feet. So
Right.
yeah, just self-taught, I guess, with nail art.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So what has been the journey of having your own like nail studio, and were there any difficulties in regards to building your own clientele?
Luckily, I've always had a space wherever I've lived to be able to set up my desk. So I've never worked in the salon. But in terms of building clientele, it's all just been word of mouth. So
Mhm.
Instagram, friends, family, spreading the word. And I think also just being one of the first, well, there's a lot of people in the area doing nail art, but one of the first people to sort of, be pushing the boundaries maybe a little bit in my area with different types of nail art that I'd seen. I think I was sort of pushing the boundary. I had friends that loved
Mhm.
sort of alternative nail art, and I was just doing some kind of weird, wacky stuff from the beginning. And I think that really
Right.
brought people to me.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So I want to get into in regards to like clients. Have you ever had an experience with a difficult client, or it was pretty much you had a very good clientele essentially?
Yeah, I'd say in general, I've had really, really lovely clients, some of which have stayed with me. I've only been in the industry 2 years, and
Mm.
I've had those clients from the beginning. I've had a few maybe like uncomfortable situations, but nothing that I can really think of other than just maybe being asked to do a style of nail art that I don't love to do at the beginning, and saying yes because obviously I didn't want to lose that client. But now, if someone came to me, I think I'd be more confident to say, do you know what? I actually think someone else would be better off doing that nail style rather than me.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, how would you describe your nail art style?
It's hard. I feel like I haven't pinned it down. Um,
Mhm.
I think I do. I have such a large range of nail art styles that I like to do. I would
Right.
just say that with all of them, I just am a massive perfectionist. That's the only way I can describe my style.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I want to go ahead and push forward and talk about Fashion Week. So,
Yeah.
London is, one of the fashion mecca places along with like New York and London, New York, Milan, and Paris, excuse me. And
Yeah.
so you did nails for London Fashion Week for Burberry and Simone Rocha. So what was the whole experience doing nails for Fashion Week?
It's crazy, as you can imagine. Something that I never thought I would get the opportunity to do, to be honest.
Hmm.
It is, yeah, it's just incredible. And it's such a different way of working in comparison to what I do day to day.
Hmm.
It's just a really, really nice environment. I didn't think it would be. I thought it'd be it is stressful to a point, but I thought it would be maybe more catty, maybe
Hmm.
more like intimidating. But every Fashion Week experience that I've had such an incredible team
Right.
of nail techs to work alongside. Everyone's very supportive. Everyone's
Hmm.
there for one goal, and it's just really great for networking and
Right.
opportunity.
Yeah,
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 it's amazing.
it's really cool. Would you do it again?
Yeah, 100%. I'm already looking. Yeah, I'm booking out my calendar for next year. I want to try and get a few shows in Paris and Milan as well.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Now, how did you like get the opportunity in regards to like doing Fashion Week? Was it Glossify that, had connection in regards to fashion? Like, how did you get that opportunity to do like nails for Fashion Week?
Yeah, so the Glossify opportunity with David Comer came slightly different to how I've usually like got those opportunities. So that was, them looking out, reaching out, sending a portfolio, and thankfully being chosen, which was amazing because I love my brand.
Mhm.
But the other opportunities have really been luck of the draw. Sort of,
Mhm.
there's a few Instagrams out there that will share opportunities for assisting, and you just got to get in there. You've got to just email, send a portfolio, send your interest, and that's how I've got it. And then from there, just sort of getting to know different agents,
Right.
and just being a bit, just got to put your pride aside and be like, I really want to be there. I really want to do this. Is there anything available to me?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Now, what would you say are the biggest misconceptions in regards to like working for Fashion Week as far as, being a nail artist?
Misconceptions. I think that I thought I would have sort of more time when I'd be working. I thought I'd be able to like sit down, get to know your model, chat,
Right,
but it's
right.
not. It's like work, work, work. Burberry, I think we had about 80 models. Um,
Wow.
and there was a big team of us. I think there was about 25, but you're doing like hands and feet. Models are turning up late. Yeah,
Mm.
so it is. Yeah, it's cutthroat. And I think the other misconception was what I mentioned earlier. I thought it would be more maybe catty and maybe like a bit harsh, but everyone was so lovely. Everyone was so friendly. So I've had a
Mhm.
great experience with it.
Mhm. I think sometimes with certain experiences, especially like, fashion, like it's easy to look at like the glitz and the glamour of it, like the end product of it, but people don't consider, the behind the scenes and the
Yeah,
process. So yeah, I think definitely, if nail artists want to get into doing nails for fashion and stuff like that, it's really just considering, behind the scenes and what goes into it.
for sure. It's about being super adaptable, basically. Like,
Mhm.
it might not be a space for you to work. At one point I was literally sat under a desk doing a girl's pedicure. You know, it's not it's not glamorous at all, but you just adapt. And I think that's what's so fun about it, like finding that solution and like doing the best pedicure you can in that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, like during college, I didn't do nails for like, like the fashion shows that my art school offered, but I worked as a dresser all 4 years at my art school because, my art school offered the fashion design major and they would choose a certain amount of designers to showcase their collection for the fashion show. So I went to Savannah College of Art and Design here in America, and it's one of the top art schools in the world. So, like every year I volunteer as a dresser, and backstage is hectic and
It's
tight
crazy.
space, and you got to help model change they looks and stuff like that. So yeah, it's hectic.
It's so fun to be part of, though.
Yeah,
Like a
absolutely.
weird world, like to be part of just for that day. It's so great.
Yeah, absolutely. And also too, another thing too with the fashion shows at my school, like Miss J Alexander. I don't know if you heard of him.
Who's that? Sorry.
Miss J Alexander.
Oh, I don't know.
So Miss J Alexander, he used to be a judge for Top Model, and he
Oh, I
also
do know. Yeah, I
yeah,
do
he's a
remember. Yeah.
he's a runway coach. And so he would come to my school every year and teach the models how to walk. you
No way.
know. So yeah, it was really, really cool, to see him like teach models how to walk and stuff like that. And he'd be backstage and stuff. Yeah, Miss J is really cool.
Yeah, I literally just clicked. I was like, no, I've literally seen every episode of that.
Yeah, I want to get into in regards to just the whole thing in regards to the airbrushing with gel and acetone. So you did put out a video,
Yes.
um, sharing your experience in regards to like the result, with you doing the airbrushing and with gel and acetone. So knowing what you know now, how important is it for new nail artists or just any nail artists to be educated more on the dangers of airbrushing with acetone and gel?
Yeah, I think it's super important. I obviously was clueless. I just picked up an airbrush because the effect looked amazing. I watched TikToks on how to, mix my product to make the end result, and that's what caused me to obviously get the skin reaction. And obviously in the video, I say that it was nothing world ending or life changing, but I think
Right.
it just shocked me. I was like, oh wow, like something I'm doing is actually is causing damage to my skin. So I think it's important for people to be super aware, because not only was I causing damage to myself, I could have been causing damage to my clients as well. I was using it every day. So yeah, I just think people with huge followings should be now really like thinking about the products they use and how they use them and educating themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially the brands too,
Yeah.
because if they're using your product with acetone, it's like, you definitely want to make sure that you're spreading awareness. So I like how a few nail brands are really educating us, like, hey, don't mix acetone with gel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you're gonna do airbrushing, do like acrylic paint. So, and
Yeah.
even I did the thing of the gel and acetone airbrushing at one point, but I said, no, this is too toxic and it's in the air. And so I
Yeah.
just, it's
I don't
just
know
really,
why I didn't like realize. I was just doing it, wearing a mask, and I was like, this smells like, obviously it smells bad. But I just didn't put two and two together that was what was causing my reaction.
Mhm. Yeah,
Silly.
and also too, people are saying like, you got to wear gloves when you work with gel and stuff like that. And I used to not wear gloves, and I wear gloves now
Yeah.
because this, like Lotte Seymour, and big ups to
Yeah.
her because she's educated a lot of people and spreading awareness in regards to the dangers of, working with gel with your bare hands, because you can get an allergic reaction and things
Yeah.
like that. So I'm glad that people are spreading awareness about those things.
Yeah, for sure. And it was strange for me because from the beginning of me learning how to do nails, like one of my top things was nail health, and like
Right.
obviously that encompasses like everything, like my health, my client's health, but that for some reason just didn't go into my mind to even like worry about airbrushing. I just thought it, because
Right.
everyone else was doing it, obviously it would be fine. So I'm glad that like hopefully my reel has reached a few more people and
Mhm.
encourage them to use it properly or not use it at all.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. So, what are some of your favorite proxies when doing nail art?
So obviously I'm a Glossify girl. I use Glossify mainly, and always
Mhm.
have done. Um, but I have a couple of other brands that I love to use. I don't know if you've heard of Sissy. I love Sissy.
Yes, mhm.
Yeah, they do such cool 3D gels, which I think is quite hard to get hold of in the UK. So it's quite nice now to have a
Mhm.
product available. And I also use Hona, Home of
Mhm.
Nail Art.
Yeah, home
They're
of nail art.
amazing. They're so good. I love their chrome and their detail paints. They're so good.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I've heard of home and nail art, and I can see, like, I can tell, like, that stuff is really, really pigmented.
It's so pigmented. Yeah, their paints are amazing.
I think another brand that offers like 3D gel is a Candy Coat. I know Candy Coat has
Oh,
like,
do they?
yeah,
I
Candy Coat
haven't.
offers like 3D gel, and not just like the bottled gels, but like 3D gel and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm so into that stuff. I remember when I first started training, like you couldn't get hold of things like that sort of Korean nail art, which
Hmm.
I absolutely love. You just could not get hold of that product, but I'm loving the growth with like brands bringing in those items. It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get into the nail industry. So, what are some things you like about the nail industry, and what are some things that you think the nail industry could improve on?
I found recently I didn't really have that connection with other nail techs until sort of a couple of weeks ago when I met the Glossify group for Fashion Week, and since then I just
Hmm.
really realised how supportive the nail industry is. I think there is
Hmm.
such, there's other industries that maybe wouldn't big up other artists, but I think in the industry you find that people comment on your stuff, they share it. Um, it doesn't seem to be too gatekeepery. Like if there's a technique, they'll share it.
Right.
There's a brand, they'll share it. Like I love that about this industry. In terms
Hmm.
of, I don't know, to be honest. I haven't really thought about it. But I wouldn't say there's much to improve. I think it's growing. I think the education side's growing in terms of
Hmm.
natural nail health. I love
Hmm.
that part of it. I don't That was like I said, my priority when I came into the industry was to focus on my clients' natural nail health. And I
Right.
think that seems to be at the forefront of most nail brands.
Right.
So I love that about it.
Yeah, it's cool. I definitely want to push forward and talk about how have you been able to balance being a nail artist with like mental health.
I wouldn't say I've found that balance yet. I'm
Mhm.
definitely guilty of working a lot and burning out. I work outside of my hours when I shouldn't do, and do admin when I shouldn't do.
Right.
But it's definitely something I'm like constantly trying to work on. So I try and prioritize getting to the gym, even if it's just a really chilled yoga session, or even just sitting in the sauna for a bit, which obviously is a luxury. But I do prioritize that, especially
Hmm.
as I have a 3-year-old. So I have to try and find time for myself that's not work related.
Right.
And I've also joined a book club. I thought,
Mm.
something that I can do that's not work related that also makes me socialize like outside of my sort of my work group of people.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I try and do to keep that balance.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So, like, in terms of the book club, like, do you guys meet like every month, every week? Like, what's the book club like?
Every month. So we meet the last Thursday of the month, and you also present a book that you'd like to read, and then it all gets voted on. I still haven't had a book chosen yet, so hopefully next time.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So, I want to really get into. I like to ask every nail artist this question. So, if you had a top 5 list of your favorite nail artists, who would they be and why?
So I have a few that are based in the UK, but I also have a few abroad as well. So my UK favourite text would be Nails Bab. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
heard of her.
Yeah.
And Sweet as Hell. I don't know if you know Sweet as Hell Nails.
Mm-mm,
And
I
there's
don't think
another girl called Nails by George. I absolutely love her stuff. She's
so. Mm.
amazing. She does most of her sets are just mix and match, really random, and
Mm.
normally on really short nails as well. I absolutely love nail art on short nails. And then I love Biddy Tokyo. I don't
Brittany
know if you know.
Tokyo.
Oh my god, their stuff is amazing. And then 1-800 Nail Me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
heard
that.
that.
They're my vibe.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So I want to go ahead and really, end this off by asking, like, how can people find you on social media and how can people support you and your work?
So I go by Girls Don't Cry on all forms of social media, so Instagram and TikTok. And then, like everything, it's all about engagement. So, comments, saves, super important. I'm really hoping to sort of progress and get some like one-to-one nail art masterclasses on the go. So
Mhm.
yeah, if anyone wants anything, any tips, I'm all up for helping. So DM me.
Yeah, that's really,
Absolutely.
really, really, really cool. But I want to also ask too, like, how'd you get the name Girls Don't Cry Nails before we end this off?
Do you know what? I actually don't really remember. I really remember just sitting with my friend and I was like, I don't want to go by Beth. I want to go by something. I don't know. I didn't know. I couldn't think of anything. Like the only thing I could think of was that I'm a redhead, and I was like, okay, maybe I could go off something like that. I'm just not very creative in that way. And then we were just listing loads of stuff, and I don't know why, but she just said "Girls Don't Cry," and it just stuck. Um, and I keep toying with changing the name, but then I'm like, in my area, people kind of know it now, so it's
Right.
nice. It's nice to be recognizable in the area.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Well, thank you so much, Beth, for jumping on the show. Your work is
Thank
absolutely
you.
great. I love your spirit. I love how you're about positivity, and I really enjoyed our conversation. So thank you so much, and keep up with what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye bye.